Well, hey there, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink, and thank you so much for joining me for Next Weather. Today, I want to walk you through the new National Hurricane Center products that have been issued going into the 2026 hurricane season and what it means for the season in general, how we are going to be looking at these products, and what they mean for the Gulf Coast specifically. Now, I do want to provide a disclaimer. These products that I'm about to be showing you are examples. They are used from previous situations. There is nothing going on in the Gulf right now. There is nothing expected to be going on in the Gulf right now. So these things are just used to help visualize what is going on during the hurricane season and how we'll be communicating it. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to be talking about when hurricane season is happening, what changes are coming to the hurricane forecast cone, and the new storm surge updates for Hawaii, and then how all this will help us better communicate storm threats. The goal is to make sure we fully understand these updates so we can explain them clearly and confidently on the air during hurricane season. Now, hurricane season is not until June 1st and lasts through November 30th. The most active part of the season is usually from August through October, when water temperatures in the Gulf as well as the Atlantic Ocean are the warmest, and that acts as an aid to tropical systems for strengthening. For our area along the Gulf Coast, this is a very important time of the year because hurricanes and tropical systems typically bring damaging winds, tornadoes, heavy rain, flooding, and storm surge. Even communities well inland can experience serious impacts, which is why staying prepared throughout the entire season is so important. Now, the National Hurricane Center is updating its hurricane graphics to make them easier for people to understand. For many years, people have misunderstood the forecast cone and believed that if you were outside of the cone, you were safe from impacts. But in reality, the cone only shows where the center of the storm is most likely to travel and not where impacts like wind, rain, and tornadoes will occur. Because of this confusion, NOAA and the National Hurricane Center are introducing new graphics that show more information in one place and help people better understand their risk. The main goal is to improve communication, reduce confusion, and give communities more time to prepare. Now, this is going to be one of the biggest changes coming in the 2026 hurricane season, and that is going to be the forecast cone. We often call the cone of uncertainty, but the goal of the new version is to provide more certainty and clearer information. The cone will still show the projected path of the storm's center over a 5-day period, but now it will include more detailed information directly on the graphic itself. This includes watches and warnings and clear indicators of storm strength and timing. This allows viewers to quickly see not just where the storm may go, but also where impacts are expected and when preparations should begin. Now, speaking of watches and warnings on the cone, previously it was not all in one place. You had to go to multiple different places. But this is going to save a lot of time and confusion because sometimes things can get a little lost in the step-by-step process of figuring out if you're going to be in these impact areas. So this will be one of the biggest improvements, and that is the watches and warnings will now appear on the cone graphic. Different colors will show when tropical storm and hurricane watches and warnings are in effect across both coastal and inland communities. A watch is typically issued about 48 hours before impacts begin, which means people should start preparing. Now, yes, this is different than severe weather season. Watches and warnings mean different things when we're dealing with severe weather and when we're dealing with tropical weather. So I'm going to reread that again. A watch is typically issued about 48 hours before impacts begin, which means people should start preparing. A warning is usually issued about 36 hours or less before impacts, which means dangerous conditions are expected and action should be taken. There will also be shading where watches and warnings overlap, making it easier to see areas that need immediate attention. This gives viewers a clear timeline and helps them understand when impacts are coming. Now, another major change is how forecast points are going to be displayed. In the past, the forecast track used circles at each forecast point, but now the National Hurricane Center will use ellipse instead. This is more of a narrow circle or an oval shape if you don't really understand what an ellipse is, but that is a better description. It's just going to be a narrower circle. But these ellipses take into account both the speed and direction of the storm, giving a more realistic view of where the storm could move. Previously, forecast accuracy was around 67%, but with this new system in place, accuracy will improve to 90%. This means storms are much more likely to stay within the forecast area, giving meteorologists and emergency managers better confidence in the track. However, it is still important to remind viewers that the cone only shows the center of the storm, and impacts often extend well outside of it. Now, another big update is going to be the storm surge changes for Hawaii. Now, in the 2026 hurricane season, storm surge forecasting in Hawaii is going to look a little different and actually improve dramatically. So I'm going to show that graphic here in just a second. The National Hurricane Center is now going to introduce a new storm surge alert and guidance system specifically for the Hawaiian Islands. This system provides more detailed coastal flooding forecasts and help emergency managers identify areas that could be at risk during tropical systems. This is similar to the storm surge products that have been used for years along the Gulf Coast, including areas like southeast Louisiana and other parts of the northern Gulf. While this doesn't directly affect the Fox 10 viewing area, it just shows how hurricane forecasting is improving nationwide and ensures all coastal regions receive the same level of protection and guidance. Now, all these updates are designed to give people more time and better information. The improved cone, clearer watches and warnings, and more accurate forecast tracks help meteorologists communicate storm threats more efficiently. This leads to better preparation, earlier decision making, and more time to evaluate if needed. The overall goal is to make sure hurricane forecasts are easier to understand and help communities stay safe during storms. The Gulf Coast is one of the most hurricane-prone regions in the country, as we all know very well. Storms often strengthen over the warm Gulf waters and can bring dangerous conditions once they come on land and then even after landfall itself. Communities across Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi frequently experience strong winds, tornadoes, flooding, and power outages from tropical systems. Because of this, clearer hurricane graphics are especially important for our region. Better communication helps people understand the risk and take storms seriously before impacts arrive. Now, for the Fox 10 viewing area, these changes will improve how we communicate hurricane threats to our viewers on air, online, and on our social media pages. Inland counties across southwest Alabama, northwest Florida, and southeast Mississippi will now be clearly shown in warnings directly on the cone graphic itself. This makes it easier for viewers to see if their area is at risk and understand what they need to do to prepare. The improved forecast accuracy and clear timeline will help us explain storm threats more confidently on air. Overall, this will strengthen our hurricane coverage and help viewers make better safety decisions, and overall help us make better safety decisions as well. But for viewers, the biggest benefit is going to be clarity. You will be able to see where the storm is going, where warnings are in place, and when impacts are expected, all in one graphic. This reduces confusion and encourages earlier preparation, and also may help with storm anxiety. It also reinforces the message that hurricanes are not just coastal events, and that inland areas can also see some serious impacts from these systems. The result is better awareness and safer communities. The Storm Tracker team will use these new hurricane graphics during the 2026 hurricane season, on air, online, and during coverage when necessary. Meteorologists will explain the cone, highlight inland threats, and focus on local impacts for each county in our viewing area. Like I've mentioned, this will allow to help us deliver the message more clearly and more effectively during hurricane season and help you stay informed and safe. Now, this is all we're expecting right now, but if we get more updates, I will gladly give you more information on another next weather segment or online or on social media.